There's always a little more. Like you could text me. The Louie Bellina Show is always about you. And texting is the number one form of communication. It's no longer, sit down, have a beer, hang out for 3 hours. Most people they don't have 3 hours in their life. Text me. 979-693-1150. My text message number. Program it into your phone. 979-693-1150. What's on your mind? 2 Saturdays from now, week 0, college football is here. Dublin, Ireland, G6 game of the night, and more. Text me. The Astros. Holy cow. That escalated quickly. They lost a series to the Angels. That's bad enough, but it was 18-3. And that was with Pete Lambert in the circle. That's supposed to be dub night against the Angels. No. Oh, no. The Astros have proven to be resilient, but that thing was over before you had a chance to turn it on. Capital U, ugly? Anyway, there's a lot going on as we're moving towards next week, high school football kickoff. Week after, college football proper. Week after, NFL is here, y'all. What's on your mind? You can light up the inbox at 979-693-1150. We begin Maroon and White Notebook. Yesterday, Aggie softball announced they're going back to the Clearwater Invitational next season. They join an 11-team field. Got all the big softball conferences. I mean, if the SEC is there, you already have the premier softball conference. ACC, Big 12, Big 10, American Conference USA. Clemson, East Carolina, Florida State, Liberty, Oklahoma State, South Carolina, A&M, Texas Tech, UCF, Virginia Tech, and Washington. It'll be the 4th time in the past 5 years A&M softball will be out in Clearwater. That's an ESPN tournament. Get the coverage, get the love, premier event. Aggie softball will be back there. Maroon and White Notebook. D1 baseball put out their top 50 transfers. Aggie baseball. D1 baseball did their top 50 transfers. Hitters. And A&M had 3. Nate Savoy is the number 3 transfer hitter. Aggies got him. Lane Arroyos was number 31. A&M got him. And Alec Blair was number 35. And the Aggie baseball team picked him up. So D1 baseball top 50 transfer hitters. Aggies have 3 of them, including the number 3 hitter in the transfer portal. Maroon and White Notebook. Aggie soccer, after opening up with 3 straight on the road. Maybe a little home cooking will do them good. Kickstart their season. Aggie soccer tomorrow night. Home opener, Sam Houston State. And as I mentioned, brutal start at 1-2. Horrific loss to Texas State. And it wasn't just that they lost, but they gave up 3 goals and how 2 of them were. And they need something early here. It could just be a long year. But A&M, Sam Houston State, tomorrow, Saturday, 8 p.m., Ellis Field, home opener. You're invited. You could check it out if you wish. So, a heads up. Maroon and White Notebook, Aggie Soccer, home opener tomorrow, 8 p.m., Ellis Field. Not sure why it's... Heat. There you go. I was about to say I'm not sure why. Speaking of soccer, by the way, saw this on my socials. The University of Georgia soccer women's set an all-time soccer record. They played in their football stadium, Sanford, last night. Drew an NCAA record crowd of 25,433. They were playing James Madison, won 6-0. That's a fancy soccer term, by the way, nil. If you don't know what it is, you can text me. I'll explain it, or Google. But 6-0. Do you know what the previous women's soccer match record was attendance? In 1999, North Carolina and Notre Dame played in San Jose, California, and they drew 14,410. Last night, Georgia James Madison drew 25K. So you realize they didn't just set the record. They destroyed, shattered the all-time record. This was a soccer record, as I said, not a women's. Soccer college. Because the men's attendance record was set in 1980 when St. Louis and SIU Edwardsville played at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and they drew a crowd of 22,512. And again, last night, Georgia women's soccer drew 25K. So that crowd is the all-time college soccer record. Tickets were free. This was an intentional push. It had a title, Soccer at Sanford, alliteration. I need to stay away from that. I can barely handle the basics of speaking, let alone going for alliteration. But Soccer at Sanford, Atlanta, Georgia, hosted how many of the World Cup matches? 8 World Cup matches. They had the semifinal game. It was the one Argentina eliminated England. So the state had soccer fever. So it's one of those things where Georgia, and obviously brilliantly so, decided to do a campaign. And it paid off in spades because Georgia women's soccer set an all-time soccer, men or women's college, attendance record with 25K last night. And again, they didn't bring in like North Carolina or some kind of historic program. Nope. They brought in James Madison and set the all-time record. Moving on. Aggie football. Maroon and White Notebook. It was, ESPN.com. I'm getting fatigued here, but it's okay. We're getting games. We're getting to game week. So 2 Mondays from now will be game week, right? And call this a programming service announcement, a PSA. Every Monday game week, 1:30 p.m. on the Louie Bellina Show. Every Monday game week. 2 Mondays from now will be the first one. Mike Elko has his weekly media day. Every Monday game week, 1:30. And you will listen to Mike Elko, weekly media day, on the Louie Bellina Show live. So A&M Missouri State game week, 2 Mondays from now, 1:30, live on the Louie Bellina Show. A&M Texas game week, Monday 1:30, live on the Louie Bellina Show. Every Monday at 1:30, game week, Mike Elko's weekly media day will be live here on the Louie Bellina Show. Programming service announcement. Mark Schlabach did the ESPN. It's basically a top 25. They called it power rankings, and this is like the 17th now. I wish we could stagger these things. A&M's 11. That's all you need to know. We could fast forward to that. A&M's 11. So I need to create a chart, maybe right on the wall here, put up a grease board or something like that so that we can just have an overview. But CBS said 11 in their 1 to 138. ESPN says 11. AP said 8. Coaches said 8. Louie Bellina said all offseason that A&M would be kind of like 8 to 10. And 11's outside that. And in the end, I said they'd average out to 9.2. 8, 8, 11, 11. It's all right there. It's all accurate and correct. That average out will equal, and it'll be slightly above 9, and A&M 8, 9, 10. It's all the right zip code, and it is as expected is. CBS, ESPN, same page. The polls, 8-8, exact same page. And this 8-9, and we'll say 10-11, it's the same four teams being shuffled based upon your projection expectation amongst them. What do you think LSU is? You'll put them 8, 9, 10, 11. Who do you think A&M is? You'll put them 8, 9, 10, 11. Oklahoma, who do you think they are? And it's all SEC schools. Those three alone determine your 8, 9, 10, 11. What's your projection? Ole Miss can be anywhere from 5 to 12 based on your expectation projection. Now, for Mark Schlabach, he quoted Elko from Tuesday. Elko said Reed has, quote, taken the step we hoped he would make, is more comfortable and confident. Why does he quote it? Because the last sentence on his thoughts on A&M at 11 is, if Reed plays that way during the regular season, the Aggies might be an SEC title contender. Remember, A&M went 11-1. A&M was an SEC title contender. So, and Reed taking the step we hoped he would make. Again, step towards less turnovers, steps towards being better down to down and not throwing away plays. That's the Louie Bellina question. Which steps exactly? If he's better down to down, the impact of his mistakes will be lessened, because A&M doesn't need a last-second drive if he's better for 3.5 quarters. See, do that, and there's no last drive. Now, if he's going to have a lower completion percentage and not be better down to down, then he needs to have less turnovers because of the last drive. There's many ways to approach the same concept. If he's better at all of it, he's going to win the Heisman. A&M's going to be undefeated, and they're going to win 12 games. So what's the better at? Tell me which route, because to ask him to be better at all of it, I don't expect him to be perfect and never asked for it. But what's the better at? Can't throw away the easy plays that are there. How about a 99% rate on plays that are obvious and easy? That I think I can ask for. And then you don't need last drives. You don't need to, 34 seconds, 40 yards, and a field goal because of all the wasted plays earlier. So, or cut down on the turnovers, period. Pick a category. We'll be back. We're just getting started, man. It's Friday. Bryce Jones, Barbecue Pitmaster, Josh Kendall of The Athletic, all things NFL, high school football preview. Thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. Oh, yeah, we're just getting started on a Friday. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. What does that mean? Well, from Texas to California to Florida, every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Mark September 2nd down on the calendar. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, new era, the biggest day in sports. It's okay to get pumped about it. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. It ends on August 23rd. If you want to check out all the terms, go to dking.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook, predictions, and free-to-play sports. Contest availability varies by state.
The Houston Astros play on the zone. Thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, Residential, Commercial, and Industrial Services. What they do, who they are, CC Electric. Do not forget you can text 979-693-1150. Light up the inbox, questions, comments, opinions. And when I say text, it's not just me. When Bryce Jones joins me inside the Charles Schwab studio at noon, you can text him. When Josh Kendall of The Athletic joins me at 1 and we're going to talk NFL, he'll join me on the D4 Land Services hotline. You can text your questions for him. So me or any guest, anytime, Text 979-693-1150. I think at this point we get the point. 8, 9, 10, 11, all the numbers are the same. A&M is, and with 8, 9, 10, 11, a borderline CFP team. I don't think there's any insult. Is there anyone that thinks A&M should start higher than 8? You've looked at the teams ranked in front of them. You look at the team behind them. And again, the 8, 9, 10 / 11 is, where do you sit with Ole Miss? Where do you sit with LSU? Where do you sit with Ole Miss, LSU? Oklahoma. That's it. Oklahoma has a defense that if they're top 5, which easily they could be, sure. Because if you put A&M versus OU, which is a Week 11 game, the best unit on the field will be Oklahoma's defense. So you'd pick them to win in Norman with the best unit on the field. Football 101. But John Mateer is bad enough, and that offense last year, a year ago, we'll see who made the most progress in the offseason, right? And it's really, I think it's about their offensive coordinator. Everyone fixates on Mateer. What was it, Arbuckle? What did their OC learn his first year in the SEC? Is he the one capable of taking his brilliance and their offensive scheme and then figuring out how to implement it more effectively and Mateer more effectively for what he can do, not what he can't do, but what he can do in the SEC? I think that's the bigger kind of question for OU and its offense, personally. And the whole LSU thing, I'm sorry. You bring in the 50 new players, and what's scary, I heard Billy Lucci talk about it this morning, Texags Live, is how, like, this judge ruling let NFL players come back and to Ed, like Pyburn, back to their defense. The guy that probably could make that Tampa Bay roster had the 2 sacks in the exhibition, and then giving them even more talent, and it's just getting absurd. But there's a reason Lane Kiffin, it was 3 to 4 years straight that his Ole Miss teams were picked to make the CFP before he did it. There's other things involved than just having the horses. Maybe at LSU, Kiffin will finally have a roster of such overwhelming talent that the talent can overcome what I've always said part of the problem with his Ole Miss teams was himself. He can't stop. It's 4th and 10 at his own 17, and he leaves the offense out there. That's not a talent issue. And as if he does the same thing at LSU, that's not a talent issue. Look, Lou loves aggressive coaches. Lou loves, going for it. I like coaches that challenge. But what Lane Kiffin does, and it was a criticism of Mike Leach too. A lot of people have trouble with the newfound analytics. That's like if it's 4th and 3 at your own 44, you're supposed to go for it. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but the newfound analytics are fairly aggressive, and there's just a lot of modern coaches that still don't care about that. They don't agree. So, Leach, back in the day, Kiffin, they're overly even on what's new. So, Kiffin cost his teams. That's not a talent issue. At LSU, does he look at his overwhelming talent and go, okay, I did it before because I was at like an Ole Miss and we always were at a competitive disadvantage. So I had to find edges for my team. So I was more aggressive trying to cut those edges, but I don't have to do that here. Or I'm Lane Kiffin and I need to be a part of the story. So I do things that make people talk about me. I think the offseason may have answered that question. What do you think? Moving on. I thought this was brilliantly, fantastically fun. This is kind of from a Dave Bart 2 universe angle, and I like to look at it too. Coaching matchups. We have, what are the best games of the non-conference? Well, what are the best coaching matchups? Spotlight is actually the phrase that we use. CBSSports.com. That was the phrase they used. What are the best coaches? And the number one, and it was straight up head coaches, because not every coaching spotlight's a head coach. But when Notre Dame and Miami play, that's Marcus Freeman versus Mario Cristobal. And for Mario Cristobal, last year, We will see. What have I always said about A&M? It applies everywhere. 1 year is not a breakout. You have to follow it up because A&M's had, in your lifetime, as an Aggie football fan, how many breakouts has A&M had now? Like realistically, how many breakouts has A&M had? I think A&M has broken out 5 times at least in my lifetime as an Aggie football fan and never followed up. Therefore, they've never broken out. So, has Mario Cristobal overcome Cristobaling? Remember when Clemson overcame Clemsoning? When Dabo got over the hump? So it is possible. We've seen these things happen. Mario Cristobal takes this year to prove, right? Anyway, so that's the number one coaching spotlight matchup. A&M made the list. And can I give you 30 seconds? Because I thought fascinating. When I saw the A&M logo, I kind of stopped looking to think what A&M game, what coaching matchup would make a top 5. They did 10. 10 games has the best coaching spotlight. When I saw it, I went, oh, yeah. And it's not Elko versus Sark. Because I thought it was fascinating. Or with A&M starting 0-2 against Texas, and I do talk about styles make matchups, which is why I believe Drinkowitz will never beat Elko. I don't care if they were coaching high schools. I don't care if they were D3. In any level of football, I don't think Drink could ever beat Elko. Styles make matchups. That pause was to let you guess. Sorry. LSU A&M made their coaching spotlight. LSU A&M made their coaching spotlight. Lane Kiffin against Elko and it ranked at number 4 most intriguing. Non-con is what they used primarily. Actually, it's all of them. What am I talking about? But no, there's 2 cons. Doesn't matter. No, coaching spotlight was LSU A&M, and it was their number 4 most intriguing. It's the first time we've seen Kiffin Elko match up in the SEC. They point out, and it's a truth, that the loser of the battle is going to have an uphill to get back in the CFP conversation. Not impossible. If it's your first loss, then you go 11-1, but that's uphill. Fair statement. Very fair concept. But Kiffin Elko, Kiffin Elko, Kiffin Elko. Kiffin is an offensive genius. Undeniable. People forget he didn't call plays for Ole Miss, right? That was what Charlie Weiss Jr., but it's his scheme, his concept, it is him philosophically. And Elko. So that is a coaching spotlight. And by the way, and this is a me thing, right? Who they are, personality, and running their programs could not be more philosophically opposed. Elko just wants to take care of business. He doesn't have time for the noise. He doesn't need people to stare at him. Has it not been fascinating to you, like since the day he got here, all the Aggie football players appear to know how to drive their cars? That there's less things happening at 3 and 4 a.m. on Northgate. I'm not saying nothing. Because if you gather, what is it, 105 with no walk-ons, but it used to be like 150 with walk-ons. When you gather any group of people that large, there's normal, natural society things that will happen. But Aggie football under Elko, they just take care of their business. It's quiet, and that's awesome. And other programs, Georgia, other programs, Bulldogs, and LSU just can't shut up. Right? So anyway, and then the difference of their philosophies of doing things, and then coaching philosophies, right? Kiffin and, tempo, space, tempo. And Elko just goes for confusing and bullying. Oh, good stuff. All right, we'll grab a timeout, man. I'm just having fun. I'm just getting fired up. Don't know where your universe is right now. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Friday on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Listen to The Zone on the Zone app. Download the app. Yeah. Thanks to Loyalty Plumbing. The pros at Loyalty Plumbing are ready to serve you, Aggieland.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Visit them. LoyaltyPlumbingLLC.net.
The Louie Bellina Show, Friday, coming up. 11:56 high school football preview. Thanks to Kelly Burke-Dozer. 12 o'clock, Bryce Jones, barbecue pitmaster inside the Charles Schwab studio. And at 1 o'clock, exactly, at 1 o'clock, Josh Kendall debuts, premieres. Josh Kendall, he is with The Athletic, will join us. Why? NFL. Part of what's new, part of the fall edition of the Louie Bellina Show. Josh Kendall on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever are looking for help with your land, getting it fixed up, cleared, excavated, check out d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. Time now. We'll get back to Aggie football when Bryce Jones joins us inside the Charles Schwab studio. Let's go, to the diamond first. Last night, Astros Angels had the rubber game. And it was 18-3 Angels. 3 in the second, 6 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh, 2 in the ninth. I mean, it's just one of those things, to be an understatement. It was very unexpected. Pete Lambert got the start. I guess they didn't want to waste their bullpen because they hung him out to dry. 3 2/3, 8 hits, 2 walks, 3 homers. 9 runs all earned. His ERA shot to a 3.6. They just left him out there. Now, that's only 9. Notice what I just said is only a 9, right? So that means that the bullpen gave up 9 more. King, inning and a third, 5. I made 3 innings, 2. Wade Jr., inning, 2 more. It was brutal. I have to correct myself. Sorry. All the numbers I'm throwing out there. Lambeau didn't give up 3 homers. He just gave up 8 hits, 2 walks, 9 runs, all earned. It was brutal. It was pretty bad. I mean, things happen over the course of 162, but it's not supposed to happen to the Angels. That's for sure. Boy, do things happen to the Angels. So the Angels this week, took the series from the Rangers, now took 2 out of 3 from the Astros. 18-3. Can I say that again? Now, the Rangers won last night. Beat the Nationals 2-0. You got an old school OG Jacob deGrom start. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 10. Complete and utter domination. 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 10. Bullpen was brilliant. I mean, 0. So that means they were perfect. But it's the Jacob deGrom start. That was OG. 94 pitches. He only walked 1, but sometimes high strikeout game equals high pitch count. Corey Seager went yard, his 13th. 2, Ziggy 0. Rangers win, Astros lose. That means that the Astro lead in the AL West is down to a game. I got a historical note for you involving Jacob deGrom. He reached 2K last night, and it was the first 2 batters he struck out. And he reached 2K strikeouts, second fewest games and innings pitched in Major League history. Second fewest games and innings pitched in Major League history. He struck out, Dalen Lyle and then, Abalik Ortiz. Both chased strike 3 on sliders, and both Those sliders are out of the zone. So he was dealing. DeGrom got the standing O, acknowledged the crowd, put the cap over his heart. So Jacob DeGrom, second fastest by innings and second, fewest games. 6, 1 hit, 1 run, no run, struck out 10, second fastest ever. He's one of those players where the injuries are too defining in his career. And I do myself personally wonder what his totals, what it would all look like if he didn't have to deal with it. A couple other quick MLB notes for you. These kind of things are fun for me. Now, got an infographic and home runs hit in each MLB stadium in 2026. I believe this was as of Thursday morning. So if it's shifted a bit, I apologize. But for me, what stood out, Astros Daikin Park has allowed the fourth most home runs this year. Fourth most home runs this year. 179. Now, you want to guess which park has allowed the most? I thought it was Wrigley Field because, ball flies out, wind, more. Second most. Wrigley Field second most, 185. It's actually the Nationals Park. There are multiple factors in how your ballpark allows the most homers and dimensions, wind, history, but also how absolute awful is your pitching staff. Like the A's, Sutter Health Park is third. They play in a minor league park. Okay. But the Nationals Park has allowed the most homers, 196. And it's far and away. They were 11 clear of the Cubs in second at 185. So Daikin Park, Astros, fourth most allowed. Fourth most allowed. Texas Rangers, dead mid, 15, Globe Life, dead mid. And remember, that's what pitching's supposed to be their strength. And we know top end DeGrom and Evaldi have not been prime time for either one of them. Which ballpark has allowed the fewest? I guess the other end of the spectrum. And I took a couple of shots, not even close. I was so wrong, I don't want to repeat it. I say enough dumb things without adding to the list, right? Busch Stadium, St. Louis, fewest, 103. Busch Stadium, the absolute fewest. So home runs hit in each stadium. And I think it was as of Thursday morning, so this may have shifted just slightly. The most, Nationals Park, 196. Fewest, Busch Stadium. Daikin Park, fourth most. Dead mid, Globe Life at 15 for the home runs allowed. Taking a look at the standings. Already mentioned it. Astros lose. Rangers win. Rangers are a game back of the Astros in the AL West. Both are 4-6 in their last 10. God bless the AL West. And Joe, and I'm joining him in this, Joe Sheehan newsletter, the speculation of, will the winner of the AL West have a winning record? Astros are projected at 81 wins at the end. 80.6 if you want to do the exact. So not winning, but 500. Rangers are projected at 79.6. That's 500. Oof. Sorry. One more MLB and we will move on from there. We'll go NFL in just a second. But, oh, man. Lowest batting average in a season in Major League history. And just this week, again, Joe and I talking about the Cal Raleigh and his collapse from a year ago. 60 homers, MLB history, and then this year. And it has to be kind of the all-time single greatest collapse failure ever, right? He's on pace. He is battling Adam Dunn, all-time lowest batting average in MLB history. Because the record's currently held 2011 Adam Dunn, and I remember him back in his Cincinnati Reds day. He was a power hitter, big time, but, struggled batting average-wise. But back in 2011, Adam Dunn hit a $159. That's the all-time lowest batting average in a season. Joey Gallo in 2022 hit $160. There's a lot that are recent. 2022 Gallo, second lowest, $160. Jackie Bradley Jr. in 2021 hit $163. There's some skankadelic batting averages in here. In 2021, Astros, remember too well, Martin Maldonado hit $172, seventh worst. In 24, Seattle's Mitch Garver hit $172. Tampa Bay's Taylor Walls in 2022 hit $172. Oof. But Cal Raleigh, currently, that's why I bring this up, perspective. Cal Raleigh, 26, is hitting 156. He's threatening the record. It is the all-time, and did they figure him out? Is he fatigued from the chase last year, never recovered? Like, how does a collapse? Okay, you knew there'd be a drop-off. You could have went to Vegas. I don't even know if they'd give you an odds because it was so obvious that he was going to drop off. He wasn't going to do 60 again, but this isn't just this is historic, epic, inexplainable, horrific. Just nightmare levels of bad. That's something special. 979-693-1150. We're going to grab an early timeout, come back, wrap up our first hour together. This is the Louie Bellina Show. It's Friday. I think we're all aware of that. Marshall and Brian, if your divisional champion has a losing record, you should not be allowed into the postseason. That goes for all sports at all levels. Marshall, I've been saying that, and I think since the NFL wildcard expansion, or NBA, whichever one went to the point where I don't think losing records, what you just said, I have said for about a decade, I don't know if longer, because I think that's facts. I think that's without a doubt. I don't even think that's a conversation. I don't think in sports that a losing record should be rewarded for anything ever. Postseason, not postseason. To me, it does not compute that you have a losing record. Hey, here's a playoff game. Huh? This is the Louie Bellina Show, Friday on the Zone.
Your home for Aggie football is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.